Mic's on. Mic's on. Testing. Okay. Welcome, please. Come on in. Just get everything set up. So give me a second while I get everything up and going. Make sure everything's going. Boom. Live. That's right there. Everything seems to be copacetic right there. And then here, boom. Yes. Now let's get the music off and let's get it popping, people. Friday. It's Friday, people. All right. Friday, people. Friday. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Scott Free Morning Show. I know it's in the afternoon, but it is what it is. If this damn thing don't stay up here. All right. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Scott Free Morning Show. I am your host himself, L. Scott. You can't. Well, can anybody? Well, the people on the L. Talk page on YouTube, they can see it. But anybody else, no one can see it. So anyways, people, on today's episode, hold on, make sure I get everything copacetically set up. Hold on, one last thing, because I don't need to be looking at that. People, on today's episode, I'm going to dive into a few things. First and foremost, you saw the thumbnail, or at least you see the title. We're going to talk about this whole Druski thing. All right. To me, I think, let me get this thing. It's too loud. There you go. To me, I have been, if you're not new here and you've been here for a minute, you've noticed that I've been preaching this. I actually have a whole episode. If you go on my channel on YouTube, 300 Radio and the number 1, look it up. You'll see my beautiful face plastered all over that thing. But when you get over there, you'll see on there that there is I did an episode, probably it was a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, talking about that. And what I basically was saying in there was that basically, yes, they have been using black Brits to replace black Americans and pretty much in acting for a while now. It's just that now everybody's catching up. And then Druski hit it out the park. But we'll get there. I want to give time for some people to come in. Hopefully we get a few people in the door. I'll look at the comment section in a few. I always like to get the juices flowing before we get everything going. Matter of fact, hold on one second. I drink my smart juice. All right. Gotta get that out of the way. Sorry about that. Like I said, on today's episode, we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about a little bit of history. We're gonna probably talk a little bit about time travel. We're gonna talk a little bit about relationships. It's Friday, so we're gonna free Fridays. I always call it Free Friday. I need to make a sound effect that Free Friday, something like that, because on Friday we can talk about any and everything. And like I say, you're gonna get if I get to talking and I get to grooving and I get on here for a minute. What you're going to get is you're going to get a great insight on who I am. Because a lot of times on these topics that we got up here today, they just is random. Nothing's going to connect. So we're going to probably jump around a little bit. You guys tell me if I'm doing too much jumping after a while, okay? But like I said, I'll put a chat in a minute. While we get people in, let's go ahead and get some things out the way early. All right, let's like dive some stuff out the way, get it out the way. Some things in my timeline that is in a heavy conversation, probably a few minutes on to give people time to come in. But like I said, come in, hit the like button, let a brother know. I'm L. How you doing? Let a brother know you're here. Let them know that you like what I'm talking about. All right. So anyway, let me start here, guys. This has got something I haven't even seen this yet. Let's see where we go first, and we're gonna dive right into it. Let's go. Yeah, I don't know why this happened. Hold on one second. Here we go. Right. Sorry. Boom. Yes. That's crazy. It'll be good. People, are you first and foremost? Like I said, I'm not even gonna let them keep going. I gotta jump in there. I gotta say this first and foremost. What? All right, so I get it now. I get it. 2030, you will own nothing and be happy about it. Mind you, we're in 2026. It's really quick before we're gonna get here. So 2030, you're talking about renting laptops. Mind you, I did this shit. Look, let me take you down the history lane. 2002. I'm just really getting into the internet. Don't know a lot about it. It's really new to me at this moment. I was this company online at night. Again, I always tell people, if you see an advertisement, believe me, ain't nothing a good deal. All of it's bad. So don't get nothing. Okay. So this is from my watching if I'm young and dumb. This an NMAC computer. Say, hey, rent this thing per week. It was on like $30 a week. I said, oh, cool, let's do it. So I decided to rent it. And then found out that, it was an ungodly amount of money. So it was going to be, I realized now, like $100 some a month in perpetuity, because you never will own it. Now, I ain't make that payment. I never did. Luckily enough, it didn't hit my credit. Luckily enough, they went out of business because they were hustling and it never popped up again. So I ended up with like a free computer. But anyways, I'm saying this. All right, I used to work at Rent-A-Center, okay? So I was a manager at Rent-A-Center. When I tell you people, and I'm like I said, I'm letting people come on in, hit the like button. We're gonna talk about a lot of different things. Druski is the focal point for Druski's little skit. But I'm taking you down a little spot. We're gonna be at Free Friday. We're gonna be all over the place. So come on in. If you like random shit, you in the place to be right now. Come on in. So I want to say, so I work for Rent-A-Center. When I tell you, if you have something from there now, take it back. It is, and I don't. Excuse me. Allegedly. I forgot. I'm online. I can't just be throwing people under the bus. Allegedly, I've heard. I've assumed. But don't get nothing from this place. When I tell you this place here. Matter of fact, I allegedly, not even that, I can't even talk about it. I think I signed a contract or something back there. Anyway, ain't nobody gonna see this. It's fine. When I tell you, we hustled you guys, okay, just flat out hustled you. It was nothing but a hustle. Oh Lord, Jesus, get off the hill making all that noise. We hustled you, okay. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And when we was hustling you paid 5, 6, 7, 8 times what the price was. That's what you're going to run into now when Amazon does this. If you're going to be Amazon selling you computers, you're going to be paying $10,000 more than what you should be paying for. If you own nothing, basically that means let's go deeper. I know, I'm getting my mind together. It's Friday. Let's get deeper. Let's go deeper. If you get to the point to where you own nothing, you have to rent everything. Do you realize that means that either one or two things are going to happen? They're either going to usher in universal basic income, meaning they're going to take care of all your basic needs, your food, your housing, your clothing, the whole nine, but you are going to be property of the state. Or they're going to tell you you're going to basically become homeless if you don't keep working because you're going to be renting everything. That means you can't. Like right now, I own a car that I don't make a payment on, so I own it. So man, I can go sit out in it, need to do whatever I need to do with it. If my house fell apart, the whole nine, go get in that. They're telling you now, nah, you're not gonna be able to do that no more. We own that too. Do you know how bad things is gonna get looking like this? And I think nobody's sitting back paying attention. We just literally letting it happen. And I get it. What are we supposed to do as the people? To be honest with you, that is why I don't like to argue with people online. I'll give you my opinions on things. I'll tell you what I think. But the reason why I don't want to fight with people, it is because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna fight you when I know you ain't gonna make it no better for me just fighting with you, if that makes any sense. I don't even know if it makes sense to me. But all I know is that we've gotten to a point now where it's just these people do whatever they want because we just complicit to whatever it is. And I don't know why this thing doesn't want to work today. Give me a second, guys. It's like it wants me to see your message. Let me see. It's like they want me to see it. What's going on, people? I appreciate you. Come on in. Hold on one second. Let me pull this thing around because this thing keeps messing with it. Anyway. All right, people, let me dive deeper into this thing. It's Friday. Like I said, let me dive deeper into this thing because this thing is getting on my nerves. And I keep doing it. All right, anyways. Next topic up. I want to talk about. This is the thing I wanted to cover. I'm glad we got a couple people in here. This hantavirus or whatever it is. What's it called? I don't know what it is. But this thing on this boat. I know it's not a big story now, but neither was the coronavirus before it became a thing. Right? So what I'm going to tell people is that right now with this thing, okay, they just let all the people off the boat. Now,
Some of them still sick, and they moved them to different parts of the world. Now tell me, what in the world would be the purpose of doing that? What is the purpose of literally taking one person, taking them here, one person, and taking them here? Because you wanted to get out. You wanted to become a thing. You want to shut the world down. People, here we go again. And again, I keep telling people, like I say all the time, this earth, this energy, whatever we live on, doesn't provide anything new. Anything new, somebody's creating it. It's not natural. So if there's a hantavirus or whatever it's called out here, somebody's putting this out here. This is on purpose. Somebody's ready to get rich, and somebody's ready to pum out of here. Somebody's going up to that upper room, as they call it. I know two things are ready to happen. And what we're going to start doing is, your media now is going to pivot. I've learned this about the media and how important it is to pay attention to what they do. What they do is this. This is the game that they do and they fool us with. You think that if they don't want to talk about if they don't want you to know something, they won't talk about it. And they do that. That's for the real serious things. The real, the things I say that like, it's ingrained into the culture. Like if they don't want that to get out or become a thing, they just ignore it. Like when one of them go up in there, when the mass punings they like to do, you know, always one of them. Cause we're gonna actually get into that story too. With that little mass puning, with that whole thing. Nobody ever calls this an epidemic. No one ever said anything. They're just quiet on that. They don't bring it up. But if it's something that they want to push, they want you to get on board, especially fear-based. What they generally do is they come out and they basically pivot into that story. Or if they want to get away from something, they're going to create something so they can't pivot away from that story. Remember, we had the whole Epstein file. Then we had Venezuela. Well, we had Venezuela, then Epstein, then we had Iran. And now this hint is going to become a thing. Mark my words. And then what you're going to realize is this, our little feeble minds is going to pivot with them. Let's go over here. Now we're going to be talking about Iran too. We're going to be talking about because gas has affected us. But the week before that was something else. It's always going to be something. Then you're going to quietly see something like the Carmelo Anthony case is going to pop up. And they're going to finally do something ungodly crazy to that young man for no reason. That's my opinion. You don't agree with me, I swear I'll block you about this room. I don't play about the children. Not about the children. No. But they're going to pop that in slowly, and then we're going to pivot in that direction. And see, what I've learned is this. While we're doing all this pivoting, they just moving more pieces into like the first story. The first story is, we're going to implement it to the point where you're going to have to rent everything. All those little things that happen right underneath your nose, becoming just every day. And the reason why I said I'm going to bring up the whole punings by the folks they like to do in mass numbers, they like to do at these schools and stuff like that. There's a story. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find that young lady's story. I actually know this young lady. She worked on a movie set that I did one time. If I can find it. Is this it? Is this it? Yeah. Okay, let me stop because I know how TikTok is. They hear them words multiple times, 2 times together. They block the live. So let me stop. Well, basically what they're saying is that they were, that little boy, wasn't it, Dylan Roof, that went down there and up into that church a couple of years ago. They're now, those families sued. They said the young man was radicalized by a Russian group. Okay. And then they said, so what they did is the United States, somebody sued them. And the people, the Russian groups that they said radicalized the young man, didn't show up to court. So they basically got a $150 million judgment off default. Here's my problem. If it was a Russian-based organization that was doing this, probably live in Russia, how are you going to make them pay you anything? Russia's not going to make them pay. So you know what that tells me is that they just basically, now on paper, going to go out, because now you're going to have some Republicans right now and say this. They paid their dues. Those families were paid money. No, they were not. And that's going to be the new story. They want a judgment against a group, like a fictitious, imaginary probably group, or at least some group outside the country that they can't never enforce this on. How you suing somebody and then that they don't even live in the country? You can't do that. It just lets me know how much they think of us. It does, because I remember the mass puniting they did up in Vegas about a decade or so ago. If y'all remember that one, those people got paid. They got reparations for that. Well, I ain't gonna say reparations, but they got some compensation for that. Not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying it's amazing how, depending on whoever's in there, depends on how we're gonna pay out. But anyways, I move on from that. But I just said that about that little Hunter thing, and I'm gonna come back there later because I wanna talk a little bit deeper, go into a little conspiracy stuff with that time travel. But I don't know if you guys into that. But if you're gonna be here, we're gonna talk about it today. Okay. But anyway, moving on. Let's move on from there. What's next up on the list? Let's see what else is there. Okay, no, we don't need to get in there. It's too deep, too early. Next thing up, I will say this. Look, passports. As of official, what's today's date? I can't see nothing. Official today, May 8th. Deadbeats are on crackdown. The United States no longer, if you had a passport but you fell behind on your payments, but you still had it, they revoking them all right now until you get under a certain threshold. Now, some people say good for them, some people say not good for them. Mine is just always this. I always say this about anything, any bill that they like to enforce things on people, is why one bill got to be in heaven enforced and another bill isn't. Appreciate that. Whoever sent me that, yeah, I appreciate you. I'm gonna give you some love after this. I know something I'm gonna send to you later. I appreciate that. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. Shut the live too. Hit the like button. Shut the live. Shut the live. Let's just be honest. They starting to crack down on student loans. Remember, for the longest, you could just have it. Ain't no problem. Then you could have credit card debt. Hey, you just got bad credit. Hey, it is what it is. But it ain't something about child support. They say, yo, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Why is that? I think I have a theory. I think your theory probably matches my theory. My theory is always this. Why is it the things that heavily affects our community always have to have more of a stricter enforcement? Like, class up, I get the reasoning. The reason or not, because I looked this up before. The reason they said they take your passport away is because you could leave your debt behind here. And I said, hey, good Friday to you, sugar. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. But let's just be honest. Come on now. People are jumping on inner tubes, rafts, and everything else to get here to America. They're leaving all parts of the world, even parts they say good parts. Everybody leaving and coming here. Other than Thailand and Vietnam, it's the only two places and Costa Rica. Like they're getting all the black folks. I know it's other places, but you get what I'm saying. Outside of that, black folks will go overseas. They will go to other places. They will go to the beach, but they're going to come home. It's just amazing that they took your passport away from that. It just sounds like to me they want to say one thing. That they like to double talk us like they always do. On one breath, oh, I just hate you Negroes. Oh my goodness, it just wish you would get out of here. I don't like you. And then in the next breath, they say, oh, hey, we can't leave here. Sorry, got to be here and do our bidding for us. I don't want you. It's like, which way you want it? You don't want me to leave. You want me to stay. You just want me to be in perpetual chaos all the time. That's what it is. I get it. I understand it. But I did see that. So I don't know if people caught wind of that, but it's happening. I also heard this. If you're over $100,000 to IRS, they're taking that too. That went into effect with it. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't done the research. What was going here? What was going next? Go in next. What was next? Okay. All right. Okay. We here now. We here. Let's just go ahead and dive to the main topic. I've been trying to go around. We'll come back to some other stuff later, potentially. First things first. I know a lot of you are new here. I'm L. Appreciate you for being here. Nice to see you on all the platforms that we are streaming on right now. I appreciate y'all. But can I say this to you guys? I have been preaching that they have been inundating us with foreigners for the longest. I noticed it about a decade and a half ago with commercials first. I always say back in the 90s, early 2000s and backwards, even if you had an all-white show, right? As an American, I appreciate it too. Even if you had an all-white show, if you had a black character on there, they would always bring on another black character to be their love interest, even if there wasn't one. Why did they do that? Representation matters, right? So, it's not ironic. At the same time that you're telling black men that you to cancel, telling black men you ain't worth nothing, you got audacity and ding-a-ling, and all this other stuff. At the same time, you have removed him from even being able to be representation for his other fellow people. Now, some people gonna argue with me and say it doesn't matter, black is black. It does when the people here don't work no more, and then I can see they not working. See, you guys are not noticing because a lot of times, do you catch the interviews? These people are using accents when they're here. Like I said, and that's just not to knock them. I know of some people overseas, I really like them. I like their content. I like Dancing. He just thought he did a hell of a job in Snowfalls. I like, what's the young man that plays on All American, the TV show where he was on there? He's a really good actor. I'm not saying he's not. Idris Elba. I'm not saying he's not bad. It's people that I like that are promoting this. So this is not a knock on them. If the job is there, I get why they're doing it. This is not about them. I talk to the institution. I'm the person, if we're talking immigration, I ain't talking to the person who snuck over the border. They trying to better themselves. I'm talking about the institutions that are creating a space for these people to come. That's the problem. That's the thing no one ever brings up. So in this situation, this isn't about Damson Idris and whether we need to kick him out or not. That's too small potatoes. That's small. We need to go to the institution. Why do y'all have a system in place where you said we're going to go get all foreign black actors and remove the American black one? We said we're going to remove hip-hop as being the, well, we're going to try to remove hip-hop and being the number one genre of music in black folks and replace it with Afro beats and Caribbean music here. Why are you doing that to my culture at the same time telling us, hey, ain't nothing here to see? The reason why every time Druski does something so controversial, it ain't controversial, it's true. And what we live in a world that now truth is controversial. So in this situation, yes, every time I'm watching a TV show, I said this just yesterday, last night I was on here. Last night, watching a TV show called La Brea. On La Brea, there's a sinkhole that falls in from Los Angeles from the current day all the way down to 10,000 BC. When they get down there, all the black folks are British. With their accents. So I'm thinking to myself, how's all this on my Netflix? If I go on there and I'm trying to find something to watch, they're showing me nothing but foreign black TV shows, foreign black movies. Why is this? Why is it the only time that you can find anything that's black produced a lot of times has to go on Tubi? Why they not getting funded for other stuff? It just seems to be, it ain't no seem to be, why are you inundating us with it? Again, this isn't about the Brit, this is about the system that brings them over. And I keep noticing that's what's happening. They keep bringing them over, they keep bringing them over, they keep bringing them over. And see, no one's talking about that. And then you have stupid people, excuse me, I'm sorry, you TikTok, sorry, I can't use words like stupid. Talk about myself, I'm calling myself dumb, TikTok. But then you have people that are maybe not so up or aware of what's going on, like Spike Lee, who makes statements like, nah, they just more classically trained. If you don't miss me with that, sir, when all you did was go get a whole bunch of people, you got some students, yes, they were in the arts, but you got a lot of people who wasn't. And you seem to do very well with those people. Why all of a sudden y'all can't use them anymore? Why is it that, and see, I always tell people this, slow this down, let's slow it down. Let's show you how everything just works together. First things first, there's 50 million black Americans here. There's less than 2 or 3 million foreign blacks here in America. So statistically, it shouldn't even be this way unless black Americans didn't want to be in the entertainment business. But you know, like I know, and I've said this a million times, I'm too was guilty of the one who wanted to drive across country, the one who wanted to sit and sleep in his car, the one who wanted to be an extra and be a waiter. And then he goes into there, gets the agent job, becomes a superstar. Now my name is Will Smith Jr. Every one of us wanted to do it. You want to know why? Because they pushed that to us. You still have people today trying to do it. They all in Atlanta now, but everybody's trying to do it. Black America still. But yet and still, when you see who makes it to them folks, and we're going to talk about primetime TV, you people are not getting hired. They have their select few. They're Michael B. Jordans. That's why I put them in the thumbnail. They have Michael B. Jordan and no one else. They told him, what's his name? What's Megan Good man name? Jonathan May. They told him, nah, you didn't let us grope you good. I'm sorry, allegedly. I don't know. I've heard stuff. All I'm saying is this: at some point, we cannot control what these. Well, I ain't gonna say at some point we cannot. Let me separate those two, because that's the thing what I mean. We are at a point now where we have to separate ourselves when it comes to building for ourselves. Meaning, I cannot worry about them anymore. We have to start putting more money into the independent film circuit than we do big mainstream TV. And don't tell me we can't do it. And don't tell me it's not good, because we have some people producing good stuff. Let me shout out some people that I know doing good. Big Ja. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. He's on all over Tubi, YouTube, places like that. Like I say, I can tell they have a small budget, but they do good work. It's entertaining. I seen the other one, Country Wayne. They're entertaining. Just imagine if they had the budgets that these big time people had. What we have to do, we have to stop. This is what we have to do. We have to stop lying to ourselves and say, I'm afraid of what will happen if I decide to be independent of them folks. They're going to be mad at me. They're not going to work with me anymore. So I just stay with them because it's easier. And I know that's what it is. I know that you know that if you decided to do that, they're going to look at you as being an enemy and they're going to come for you. But I'm going to tell you, if you lock in with your community and don't leave them, they can't do nothing to you. I always get class example. Kyrie Irving is a classic example. Kyrie Irving didn't come out and throw black folks under the bus. He stood on his square right there where he was. He didn't do no talking at all. Nobody needs him to be Black Power because nobody said he was that. But all you have, no one is requiring you to be Malcolm X. I hate to tell black folks, no one is requiring any of you people to stand up for yourself to become Malcolm or Martin. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for solidarity. I'm looking for the fact that when people look at you, they're going to say, oh man, you know he has to look out for his people first because everybody else does that. And I want it to become normal again. I want it to become normal that when Eddie Murphy get put on, he put on Arsenio Hall, he put on Chris Rock, he put on this person, I want that to be normal again. And see, what we're allowing these people is to keep convincing us. I talked yesterday about this whole black man being cancer of the culture. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go over to lead into this when we come into that. This is part of it. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna show you guys something in a second. This young man, listen to this young man here. Hold on, let me get it up. Come on, thing. Listen. Hold on. Here you go. Just listen. Let me stop him right there because I don't need to even go so heavy with it. I wanted to show context of what I wanted to get into. What I don't like when I hear those statements like that, that's a blanket bold statement. Because that man who did that is a problem. But what I don't like is context when it's removed. I don't like it when there's no nuance and you remove it and you make a blanket statement about a whole culture of people. Do you realize, young man, that you're saying to these same people, I am a problem? Even though you may not have never done none of that. And I know he's separating himself and don't realize he can't. Because once that becomes the normal behavior, that black men are this problem. And again, if a man is doing this, he needs to be held accountable for his behavior. But one thing we cannot sit here and act like that we ain't gonna do is that people do this. Humans do this. Male and female, of all races. Police officers are made up of majority of white T-men make up the police force. They make up majority of the domestic violence cases. Do you notice that you don't hear men on TV or on the internet talking about how they have a problem? Even though I think they do, but you know what I'm saying. So what I'm saying to this man is right there. When you make a blanket statement about your own group of people like that, it is detrimental to your group. Just like a woman. Because we've seen women spaz out, cut up your car, beat up somebody. I've seen women spaz out online before. Now, what if she became the representation for all y'all sisters? I know there's women who's gotten the most worst situations they've been in, and they handled it with grace. What if you got put into a box that just because some other dude, obviously who was mentally unstable, did some horrible things that all y'all had to hold something? No, this is an agenda for people. You don't ever hear East Indian men are just a problem. But I've seen video after video. First and foremost, they ain't never got no women when they outside. It's just always men. And second of all, when they do around their women, I've seen them almost, I can't say words on here. Oh my God! But they be doing stuff to their women, even at their wedding. It's just like, I've seen this before. No one ever said that these people are violent. We've seen the Caucasian man. We've seen what he's done. We've seen with the Asian man. They say Asian people, women are supposed to be seen and not heard. That is a thing. But for some reason, this lowly group of men, which you know that they say black men only make up like 6 million of the 50 million, I think, something like they said. So out of the entire planet, somehow, some way, we still get called the worst of everything. Do you know how special I feel to know that no matter what corner of the world, because honestly, I take it as a compliment. Because all these projections that they do to my culture and the black man, I don't receive them because this ain't me. So for me, I can't receive that, but I find it amusing. And I'm going to tell you, brother, start doing what I do. Imagine being 6 million out of the entire planet. They say there's 8 billion people here. But for somehow, some way, whether you go to the far corners of Morocco, all the way to Zimbabwe, all the way up to somewhere in Norway, somebody's going to be wearing a Tupac shirt. Something is so special about us that, man, that they keep our names in everybody's mouth. They always talking about us, and they always denigrating us because of this. Obviously, no one hates down. You hate up. No one's going to project onto people. Mind you, 6 million, we supposed to be, mind you, Native Americans are supposed to be. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's see how many Native Americans they say. Lola Ray, how many Native Americans are there in America today? Okay, 7 million. So it's more than it is. Now, how many times do you see them talk about anybody Native American? Unless it's about telling black folks they ain't. But outside of nobody ever talk about them, they don't never come up, no one ever sees them. But for some reason, this 6 million black men, for some reason, is on everybody's lips, everybody's tongues, everybody's mouths. That should tell you something about us. And see, for me, when I hear dummies, challenge men mentally, make statements, bold statements, because one thing you can never do to anyone is make a flat statement about any group of people, because it's disingenuous and it's wrong to ever say to someone blanket. Now, does your culture exhibit certain behaviors? That may be a thing, yeah, but to make a statement today like they like to make about black men, can I ask you guys this? Can you give me one positive that they ever make a stereotype about us being? So at least with black women, you're going to get this at least from time to time. Yeah, that's just a girl, she the heartbeat of this or something. But they still tell you how much y'all the most disrespected. But they're going to always give you some love. Can you show me what love they show black men? None. Yes, I do. I agree that the issue is the generalization of groups. I totally agree. There's no point to sit back and do that. What did you say? Tell me what the black community has done for the good since 1965. Okay. I see somebody right now is going to make a blanket statement without no context, no nuance. You're in the context and nuance corner right now, so I'm going to answer that question. Since 1965, we've have the thing that you was okie dokie and given in that time was around what? Affirmative action that didn't come to us, correct? It went to white women, right? So that's one thing. So since 1965, did we not get hit with the crack epidemic? Did we not get hit with mass incarceration? Are we not having little boys before they can even come to puberty on medication that has their hormones out of whack? So we have all this going on. I don't want to talk about where we're going. Are we going to talk about the fact that black men are getting hunted? Or are you going to make an excuse for that as well? Are we going to talk about that we're finding young black men who are deciding to hang themselves across the country for no apparent reason by themselves in the dark again for some reason? Because they're all self-inflicted wounds. No, what we're going to continue to do is, and we're not going to do it with me, is this. Sit back and act like the stuff that we see ain't happening. You're not going to sit back and tell me that the whole entire world of black society right now is up in the uproar because you wanted to move districts that affected black communities only. Why did you do that? Whether it's effective or ineffective or not, it does not matter to me. What I'm going to say is that to anyone who decided they wanted to do that, explain that reasoning. There is now. Explain to me how in the exact same time when COVID is going on, white society gained $20 trillion in wealth and black America lost over $1 trillion in wealth. How did you do that systematically? Unless we're inherently bad, and it must have just happened in 1965. I don't know what hit us in that year. We just said, man, I give up. Let's just not do it no more. It doesn't work that way. Nothing in the world works that way. But for some odd reason, when everyone else is going through something, we have context. Man, he has a crystal meth problem going on. We need to fix him. We need rehab. Set aside billions of dollars because he needs it. Why? Because his mother wasn't there and his dad was there. You see all that context? The black guy, lock him up. Doesn't matter where he came from. Doesn't matter that you had these kids coming out as crack babies that you never repaired. Doesn't matter. So now when crack babies go have babies, now we have a big problem. That doesn't matter. We don't need to address that. We can just move on like we always do. You said 1965, go to 1865. What repair have you done since then? And I'm going to tell you, none. I don't care about voting. You can put a law on the book today to say black people get $8 billion gazillion. Until the check is cut, until the money's in my hand, I can't say, yeah, it worked. It could still sit there on paper. They've done it before. See, what you want me to do is follow the paperwork. The paperwork can say anything. I read a book. The book can tell me anything. Man, I read the book on Rosewood. Man, only 6 people got harmed out there. But when you're talking to people who were there, man, there were mobs of thousands. They just came out, and when people go out back doors, they would pum. It didn't matter if a man, woman, and child. It was just fun to them. These are what the context of everyone that's talking is saying. But the book says, no, it's just 6 people. That's it. That was all it is. So no, I don't argue from a space of your reality. I argue from a space of truth. And what people like you don't do is deal with truth. You started voting Democratic for free stuff. People find it. The same people who got the Homestead Act, the same people who got the whole suburbs built for them, is the one talking about what we got for free. The same thing when they got on them little boats and came over in 1890 to 1920, and they got over here and got free set asides, free everything set up for them, the whole nine. They always talking about what other people got for free. And then when you talk to black folks, you're gonna give me the paperwork of DEI, but then when you look at DEI, none of it affects black folks. See, I'm not the person to talk to. See, like for me, this person can't make me sit here and go down the road with him the same way a person can't make me say Kamala Harris is black when the woman said out her own mouth she ain't a black woman. See, the problem is that people consistently want to keep regurgitating the same thing. Hey, they say that old leaders, I think when Napoleon Bonaparte said it, he said, keep saying, was it him or the other guy with the, with the little hat people? He said, hey, keep telling the story over and over again until it becomes true. That's what they do with us. And one thing I refuse to do, as many times as you say the stupidity, as many times I will say, nope, that's not. But as many times you say, black folks are just acting like victims. Many times I'm going to tell you, stop victimizing. See, my masculinity, my manhood, nothing else ain't challenged when you say that I'm being a victim. No, if you victimizing me, that's what it is. Now, bring yourself over here and try to victimize me by yourself and see what happens. You're going to have a problem. You need a whole system to do that. But I get it. I digress. But anyways, let's move on. And I agree. Anytime I agree with you, Warrior. I do. I won't say it out loud, but I agree with you. And the reason why I say that it has to be true is because everything in that nature is subhuman. I'll go and say it like that. And the reason what I mean when I say that, I'll say this. It's the behavior. It's the inability to do anything in a positive manner amongst anybody else. Can you tell me where you coexist with these people anywhere in this world in harmony? No, it's always chaos wherever you go. But wherever you go, you ever notice it's always the people that are chaotic. They're always there to do the good. But it's always for some reason before they show up, everybody seems to function very fine until they show up. No, that is a projection that we go through every day. Black America needs these people. Do you see how they act when they do? I just noticed that every time we was away from you guys, we built towns, we built cities, we built everything that we had. You came around, we lost it all. You talk about 1965. I think it was the worst thing that happened to us, sir. Before that, we had everything. We owned everything. We built everything. Men were the leaders of their homes at that time. No, when we got involved with you, all of a sudden we lost everything. The only thing I don't like about Jim Crow was the lynchings. I don't mind the separation of it. Now, mind you, if we can coexist together, that's fine. But you can't coexist with nothing. And say, I'm just not, for me, I'm not going to sit and play games with you like that's like a thing, like we don't know this isn't really happening. See, what I think people need to start doing, and let me move on because you first got me down this path with this stupidity. What I think people need to understand moving forward is this. just stop allowing people to tell you your existence. See, I've watched these people get into these debates with people, and they try to defend their existence. I'm not defending shit. I'm not defending. Since you want to do nothing, because I know you know what you talk about is BS. I ain't gonna say. It's literally like being in a relationship with somebody who denies everything. You ever been with that person? Yo, you made me feel this way. Well, I'm sorry you received me like that, because all I was trying to do was love. That's what you get. No, that's a projection. That's that gaslighting. You're not gonna gas me, sir. You're not gonna get to own everything. Literally, do y'all know these people are born with 87%? But this is on average, these people are born with 87% of what they need to pass on wealth to the next generation. We are born with none. We come from a system that said you don't make any money. You three-fifths of a human. And when we finish saying that about you, we're going to let you off and we're going to stalk you. Vagrant laws, throw you in convict leasing, Jim Crow, throw you in the tree. From there all the way to the prison system now, as they sit back and still tell you, I don't know why you're so violent. Maybe because we've seen violence since we've been with you. How do you absolve yourself from all the violence that you now sell back to us through movies? That's why I don't go see them. You're not going to oppress my ancestors and then sell it back to me. And then absolve yourself. Then you got the little whole thing was a critical race theory. No, we can't make our kids feel bad. So your kids can't feel bad about your behavior, but mine can keep absorbing it. That's fine, though. No. I rebuke that. I don't receive that. We move on from that. People like this kill me. But what it is it's time wasting. See, what black folks need to do is get to a collective point where when you get up every day, you think black, only black, and you trying to do something to move black. And when I say that, I'm talking about in a positive manner. I get a classic example. I saw this. Can I find this? Now, I'm not an Amanda Seales fan at all. At all. When I say I am not an Amanda Seales fan at all, I am not an Amanda Seales fan. Is this her right here? Let me see. Hold on. No, that's not it. But I saw something with her, and it was about voting. And she took the words right out of my mouth, because I say this all the time. Somebody said to Amanda, if the vote ain't important, why they always trying to take it from you? And Amanda said what I've been saying forever, but I'm a YouTube and struggle streamer. I don't know if you knew that. But a YouTube and struggle streamer, nobody heard it. But I said this. No, they know that black folks need something to fight for, is why they do it. See, the whole reason for the vote is to give you the illusion that you are doing something to fix your situation. And the reason why they put so much energy into it is because that keeps you focused there. Remember, if they don't focus on it, we don't focus on it. How do I know this? Let's go even smaller than that. I say this all the time. R. Kelly was still all over TV everywhere he needed to go. He was all and doing his thing. He was still putting out new music and getting girls and everything else. I remember talking to my old lady at the time, and she said to me, she was got in the car. His song was on the radio still. Seems like it radio was playing. I think it was. And she said, "Oh God, turn it up. I don't like that man from his behavior." And I understand it. And she's like, "I don't know why people still support." I said, "When them folks put a spotlight on him, then he'll become a problem for all of us. But until then, we're going to be bumping it out loud. Now people do it in private." And this is no judgment whichever way you go. I'm not saying neither nor. What I am just stating is the fact. So with these people, with everything, if we continue to let them tell us our existence, we're going to keep falling victim to it. That's why when I watch CNN and all these other people and Van Jones and Mark Lamont Hill and y'all, man, no. Why are you explaining your existence to people who know your existence? Look, don't let people who created the system that is hindering you, we'll call it supremacy. We'll leave off the other part. You don't get to dominate me with that and then also play dumb on how it works. I don't know. Can you help me understand? You get that all the time. Can you help me understand what's happening? What's going on? For some odd reason, you know how to work it well, but for some reason you don't understand. No, it don't work that way. What's wrong with us is that we fall victim to all the stuff that they say. That's what it is. But anyway, Druski, if you didn't catch it, I said all that I ain't even got into the man video yet. Druski, he always doing controversial videos. He did one about these British actors, and I don't know if you guys saw it. And I'll play a snippet of it right quick. Right. Now, how many times have you been watching a TV show, movie, something like that? Because I'm gonna tell you, I got messed up. It was since I was watching this show. What is it? The Good Doctor. I was watching that because I had just the reason I found The Good Doctor is because I had found Bates Motel and that little boy was crazy. But start watching The Good Doctor. They had this black girl there, really pretty black girl there. Boom. She was a black girl and then was a black dude. Black dude had an accent. I said, okay, you already got one on here. But I thought, we got Lisa sister. She started talking on the interview. She's foreign. Every dinner. Now, I'm going to tell you, do what I did. Let's see if your algorithm on your TV looks like mine. Go tonight. Go to Netflix. Get on your thing. Get in your timeline of shows. That any show, like any timeline that has any black characters in it, especially shows that has all white characters and then like 1 or 2 black characters. Go in there and try to find one that has all of them like that. And then when you do it, see how many of them are not black Americans. It's crazy when it's like that. It's the same thing like with politicians. It's the equivalent of now, and it used to be a few, but now it's the most. So now it wouldn't be a problem if it was a handful of them, but they're dominating it. The same way I said politicians are all bought and paid for. How do I know it? Why do all of them got white spouses? Why do all of them? How is that possible when over 85% of black people are married to other black people, but for some odd reason, and there's over 9,000 public officials. But for some reason, when you get to be popular and everyone knows your name, you have to have a white spouse. How is that possible unless it's a system? No, it's just coincidence. There's a lot of coincidences that's happening in the black folks that always involve other people. There ain't a lot of coincidences happening in a positive way for us. That's another thing. How you ever notice, like with this hantavirus thing, the reason why I know it's going to be a thing, it is because they're setting the rules, they're setting the game up for it. Think about it like this. They had people on a boat quarantine. Did nobody live stream? Did nobody video nothing? Hey, we're good. Day 1, day 5, blah. They do this all the time. Cameras are everywhere. They just, whenever they don't show you something, it's BS. Allegedly. Ukraine war. Allegedly. Because I still don't. Do y'all know that allegedly, I've heard this. I won't say it's true. I've heard this, that the Ukraine war wasn't a thing. I've heard of people that literally watch vlogs of people in Ukraine during the time of the most heated battles, and they're sitting at Starbucks, right, where they said there was a complete war zone. Allegedly, I've seen videos of people cleaning up some of the rubble and things afterwards, and women in Ukraine obviously are angry because they're picking up stones the size of men and stacking them on top of each other and moving them together. It almost seems like they could be props. Allegedly, I heard this thing. Or it's just, to me, when Iran and them little hat people, or the little hat people were going at them Palestinian people, you notice that you saw bombs drop. Oh, Lord, whoa, I would hit that building over there. Where's all the footage? Allegedly, they said of the Ukraine. I don't know where all that footage is at. And the only reason why I say these things, and I'm not saying these things because I just know. If you are less than 10% of the world's population and you are trying to dominate the rest of the world's population, you have to do it mentally. You have to do it through tactics. It is not brute force. And what I also know is that these people play mind games. They're never direct with anything. Your boss is never direct. Your boss will look you in the face and say you're good and then lay you off later that afternoon. Happened to me before. Never been straight up. None of them ever straight up. They'll tell you one thing, it means something else. They'll tell you they're here to help you get your land and stuff together, and then before you know it, they own your land. And I don't want to hear about, oh, well, I know Mr. John. Mr. John was the statistical anomaly. I want to talk about the rule. The rule says we are to always come at the bottom. How do I know that? Because out of 50 million of us, all of us ain't millionaires. All of us ain't thriving. Majority of us are not. But I know it's your own fault because you have no daddies. Well, Why don't we have no daddies? Black men ain't nothing. They just cancer to the group. Why they just so cancerous and nobody else is? Why this little 6 million black men are just so violent? But the same 6 million men were the greatest innovators. Had over, some of them had almost, minus the women, 50,000 patents. Now they could produce that, but all of a sudden in 1965 they just became violent. They decided they didn't want to be good anymore. We didn't want to be with our women anymore. We wanted to be by ourselves, go to jail, be on drugs, sell them. That's all we wanted to do. See how none of that makes any sense? But if you're talking to one of them, they're just going to start right there and it's going to end right there. I always say this. These people can literally make one person seem like the worst human being in the world and take the same situation and change it and make it even make you feel sorry for them. I'll give you an example. I said this before. You remember when you had that back, it was about maybe 10 years, 15 years ago, people kept leaving their kids in the car. Well, I remember, same weekend, lady went to McDonald's. She had her 2 kids. She was gone for 15 minutes in the store. She parked out front with her kids in the car. They took her kids. CPS took the kids, the whole 9. She became national news. It was hope. I can say horrible. They got rid of her. It's this horrible woman. She's horrible, horrible, horrible. That's all it was. This horrible, horrible situation. Now, mind you, if the woman's in McDonald's, my God, how poor is she? She's getting a McDonald's job. Now, I can look at it that way, or I can look like everybody else. She just lazy. She should have did better than that. She just shouldn't have went on the interview. But the same weekend, I watched a man. They say it because his wife normally takes the kids to daycare. He was rushing to work, and he totally forgot and left her in the car all day. And then you guess what happened. And I watched him be on, like I said, on Good Morning America, ABC News, something like that. And at that time, they was poor things. How are you guys holding up? And they started a GoFundMe and a foundation. So they made money off of each other. And I just say to you people, you not going to convince me to sit back and act like my culture, who I can visibly see, statistically see, can show you the numbers of how we getting crapped on daily and all at every minute of every day. The system is totally designed for it to happen. You're not going to make me dog you, me, or any of us when these people have a system set up for them to just be good people and they still get in your way. It's like, it wasn't enough in the 90s. Let's push them harder. We can go more. Let's push them some more. How much more can we bleed out of them that they ain't got left in them? I'll give you a story. Class example. Leading to this. How about this story? How about this young lady hit it on the head? I want y'all to rock with her now. Let me see if y'all get what she's saying. Rock with her. I know y'all have seen these. I'm going to tell you guys what's going on. So let me explain what it is, because I forgot you guys can't see it and everything. Only YouTube can see it. All right, so basically this woman's in the grocery store. There's a camera on the price tag. The price tag is digital, meaning when we start moving more towards you, you're welcome. You're very much welcome. So you saw that video. So this video, this woman, she's talking to, basically saying like this. Like in China right now, they have a thing called the social credit scores. So depending on if the country don't like what's coming out your mouth, they can start dictating your money, going things up and down. So imagine me, the way that I talk is frowned upon. You know it is. Now, to the white deep person or the person who wants to challenge me most of the time, they're gonna be disingenuous. They're gonna come at me. They're gonna give me statistics that are all loaded and flooded with BS. But anytime we have a conversation, a real conversation, that's a problem. Why is that a problem? Because the liar is winning. The truth cannot come out. If the truth was winning, the lie would never have anywhere to go. So they're basically saying when you walk into the grocery store and it scans you, because it's going to basically know who you are now because you got a digital footprint. When it scans you at the grocery store, I don't like this nigga. So get his Totino's pizza ain't $1, it's going to be 10. And it's going to continue to change based upon who you are as an individual. People, can I ask y'all a question? Why is any of that needed? Honestly, why is any of that needed? Why do we need to digitize and move everything to the point where you need to do it? Because I need to control. Mind you, there is no visible, flat out reason to have to need a camera or to be able to change the prices like that. No, what you're saying is that I want complete control. But you know, people like myself will no longer exist. I'll be gone. They removed me. I think for myself. And see, the problem is what it is. They don't like people who think for themselves. I don't want to cause any harm. This is sad. This is the crazy part about how this world works. I don't want to hurt or harm nobody. I don't want to hurt and harm no white tea person, no other foreign person, no nothing. All I want you to do is to let's have a fair and just system in existence. But to these people, that is impossible to be done. And see, that's the problem. I have to be removed. I have to be told that you can't get off. You can't get this off. You can't be popular. You can't do any of this. I can't do that only because I am telling the truth. The reason why I know this to be so, why do politicians feel the need to vet everything? When you go on a campaign trail, you can't ask them nothing. You can't say nothing. You can't bring up your own grievances. I can't have an original question out my own head. It has to be vetted beforehand. Why? Because they lie. And a liar always needs to control the narrative. What's happening in this world is that that's all people are doing. It is that they're lying to you. They're moving pieces that are benefiting just themselves. And let me tell you to the lower level white people who wants to argue with me because I'm just a crazy Negro. That's all I am. They're doing it against you too, dummy. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Allegedly. I'm sorry, TikTok. People hoard at the top. They hoard all the income. They hoard everything at the top. And then as they move the pieces, as they use you to defend it, and at the end of it all, you down here, we live in some metropolis. We stuck in some caged wall, and they all living a good life. Doing a lotto. You want to come out of this enslavement out here? We do a lotto once a year. We pull out 2 people. Everybody fighting for the lotto. Look, people, the earth used to provide everything that you need. What do you got to say? You said no women it mentioned, but at the other, well, I can't read what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. My thing is, I think in this world we've gotten to a point to where we're probably at a boiling point. But it's because it's like people say it's spiritual, people say I just think people are tired. I think you're tired of waking up every day looking at ain't nothing worse than when there is biases, there are systems in places that are holding some while others are benefiting from it. It can only go on for so long. Now, it works well when people don't know what they're looking at. That makes sense. See, that's why I say that they're masters of deception. They have you looking at one thing one way and it should be looked at another way. Because if they were just honest with you, you would know it's not a good thing. I'll give you a class example. Remember when the housing market of 2008, they had people in banks, but led up to that, they were giving, what was it called? Prime? I can't think of what time it was prime, but they were giving those loans that basically fluctuated, and they knew it was going to happen. These fluctuations could go from anywhere from some reasonable amount of money to some ungodly amount of money, and it popped, and everybody lost their home. And they were giving these types of loans versus standard fixed interest loans with black folks that qualified for them. So they knew what they were doing. So don't even talk to me about reparations when I want you to explain to me today in 2008, less than 20 years ago, you are still on paper have been proven to actively have targeted my group, and with no compensation, no repair or anything else. But for some reason, we're supposed to always just move on. Oh, move on. That was so long ago. Everything's so long ago. Subprime mortgage. That's what it is. That's exactly what it was. So everybody got stuck with those things they didn't have to. It's a mob mentality. See, people don't realize it. This is what they do to us. This is exactly the mob mentality. If you go watch something like a Bumpy Johnson story or something like this, or you go watch an Italian story, this is exactly how it goes. If a mobster wanted to shake you down, they'll go to your business. They'll come in and say, yo, $1,000 a week will protect your business. Nobody will harm you. The owner says, no, thank you. No one's going to harm us. We're just a pizza place. He said, oh, but you never know. He'll try it again. You never know. People in this neighborhood can try to rob you or something. You may want to hire us at $1,000 a week. I said, no, thank you. I appreciate it. He said, you know what? This is my last song. You know, for you, being that we're both Italian, I'll do it this way. 900. Call it square. Guy said again, the owner says, no, thank you, sir. Again, I don't need it. The guy goes home, comes back next day, his front windows are busted out. Guy walks by, he says, man, seems like you need some protection. I would hate for the insurance to cover this and it get broke all over again tomorrow. How about I'll come protect your place at $950. That way we split the difference. I don't lose out. You feel good about the $900. Because we don't want this to happen tomorrow. They don't exactly know at that point what he means. Yes, $950 would work. That is what they do to us every day. You are not given a choice. You give the illusion of choice. I'll give you another one with that shot. What did they tell us? They had got to the point when people were refusing to take it. Well, then you can't work. Your job will kill you. And then for the people who said, well, take my job. That's fine. Well, you shouldn't be allowed to go in the grocery stores. Well, wait a minute. How am I supposed to get groceries? Anyone that irresponsible shouldn't have the luxury of doing it. So you do know. So there is no illusion of choice. You didn't give me a choice. Remember, masks were an option at first. And then they were no longer an option. But then they give you the excuse, you have to do it. Now, they told us at this time, if y'all remember, all you unvaxxed people, it's just sitting ducks waiting to go up to the upper room. To turn around and today, we're the only ones with the strong immune systems. And these people that tell you, I never said that it was going to be great. We never. It's all that. Again, that is how I've existed this long, is not believing anything that these people say. Whatever they say, go the exact opposite way. But what too many people do is that what they do is they bring out black people, and they love to do this. They'll bring out a black person. They'll tell you this black person loves you, down for you, make them do some stuff like that, and the whole time they go back in the office and says, good, we have them under your spell. Now it's time to move them in the direction we want them to go. And we did that for years. And I think now, what gets them now is that they can't sell us on it no more. They've been trying it for years, and it still doesn't work. They'll give you the Black Lives Matter people, and they'll give you some more people. And then black folks say, nope, don't deal, nope. They'll give you the Tamika Morris, no disrespect. But I was in D.C. when they did, she did the reparations rally. I saw what Tamika and them were part of down the street, and literally I think that they were down there just hanging out together, because there wasn't nobody there. That should tell you, and like you say, hate it or love it. This is for people who don't like Tariq, do like Tariq. This is not about going to make it special by him. What I am saying to you is that whether you like it or not, he has a pulse. He also gives me hope that we as a collective down here, thank you for the love, Sugarfoot, I appreciate that. It gives me hope that we can do stuff outside the machine still and get a collective big enough to where we can make enough noise. He's about the only one that does it. Everybody fights it. I honestly look at it like, I get it, man. Let me say this to black men. Black men who are trying to build something for themselves, I totally understand it. Nigga in the way, he's blocking me, his message different than mine. Just stand where you at. Talk to the people who resonate with you, and then keep it there. If you have genuine love for the people, it will show. I give you an example. Umar catch so much backlash, let's use that word, from the people now. It isn't even because the school's not built. Excuse me. It isn't finished and opening and everything else and all the other stuff. It's the way he talks to the people is the reason why he's lost so many people. It's the arrogance that he did it when he came to it. Believe me, in this line here, I just love black people. There is no love to come from this. Like I've been told many times, my channel would have done a whole lot better if I just stopped talking like this and just let my personality show. See, y'all gotta realize, I came from stand-up. I used to do stand-up. I was a screenwriter the whole night. I came from that area. And I did stuff like this. So like I said, in that area, did very well. As long as I was telling jokes that appeased them. I don't get on stage no more because my material is gonna lean this way. And I know I'm gonna be frowned upon. I told myself I'm gonna get up there one more time. Though. I'm gonna get up there, but I'm probably gonna take all them crowds. But I'm just saying, there isn't people, oh, he's gripped. Look, nigga, again. You should be able to make money off your own culture. especially if you're giving them something for what they're asking. Like, it's a transaction. So for people to say he grifts, and I'm using not just him, I'm using for anybody who sells something in this community to get called a grifter. If a person has a product, a service, or something that you see value in, and when you give them money, you feel satisfied with the thing that you get back, that is not a grift. A grift is, I sell you a book, and I don't ship that mother. That's a grift. Telling people I don't like that because, and you say you part of the same culture he's part of because you don't like the way he talk. I got a whole bunch of people I don't like the way they speak. But it does not deflate the message that is coming out. I care for people. Look, my grandmama been gone for years now. Love my grandmama to death. Now, my grandmama wasn't the one to love the boys. She ain't like the daughters. You know that type. Told you we just toxic as hell in our culture. But my grandma was the most uncouth. Femininity was not a thing. She cussed like a sailor. She smoked cigarettes back to the day she passed. This woman did it all. Her love did not come in the words that she used. She said it like it was. You took it like it was, but you felt the love in other ways from her. You had to know her, but she gave it to you. You just won't get it that way. I learned early that people who love you ain't gonna always say it in a way that you receive it to be nice. What I don't care about how nice, like one lady the other day, she went, I could tell her anger, her vehement, she had energy for Kevin Samuels, and he's gone. He's a misogynist, and I was like, hey, hated the love. I'm not talking about that. My thing is this. If a person tells me my platform is built only because I want for healthy black couples to get together again because we separate. I didn't like his approach either, ma'am, sir. That's what I was saying to her. Because I didn't. There were times I was like, man, I wish the man just calm it down. He's trying to go for that moment. Stop trying to find that viral moment. You've done it already. You got people in here. Stop it. But that was just me. That's how I would have done it. But it still made better. I remember when he passed, I watched couples come out when they did their tribute show, and they all said thank you. I can't be mad at a Negro whose people said thank you for it. That means he was received by them. We just didn't like the way the nigga talk. But the message don't always be that. I just don't like the Sharptons of the world who will feed you BS while they get a paycheck. Roland Martin will feed you some BS about how we at war for these people. We need to do this and we need to take care of that. And then I find out you getting $300,000 from them folks and you don't ask them no questions. See, the problem is that people always selling you on a dream. Mine is, I don't want a dream. I just want us to be left alone and to do what we're supposed to. I want to take care of my family. I want you to be able to take care of your family, sir. I want ladies to be able to be women again. I want you to be accountable women. All that. That's all I want. But the problem is that we're not doing none of that. None of that is happening. I'm sorry, I'm on the soapbox. I digress. You see, you just gave the map, girls. What do you say? I just gave. Oh. Well, I'm just saying, man. It's shed a live too, man. Shed a live. I appreciate you guys showing up too. It's just, to me, it's just all the stuff that comes up in my timeline for some odd reason always seems to tie together. It does. Classic example. I give you something that's lighter, change the subject a little bit, but it's still on the same lines of everything. It's always coincidences with us. Marcellus Wiley. Marcellus. Let me cut him off. Matter of fact, I don't need to cut him off. I don't need to play. Marcellus Wiley, y'all ain't gonna know who he is, ladies, because he's an ex-football player. He does a little sports podcast now. But Marcellus Wiley, one thing about him, he's a Harvard graduate, but he's from the streets of Compton, I think. He's just the next victim of the black man who done had all the folks come back. We got 4 women accusing him now. You know what they're accusing him of. Now 3 of them been dismissed already, but 4 of them came out at the same time from decades ago. And I was like, God, how do y'all all knew to go up there this week? I want my sisters to look at this. This is what my thing is about, the whole believe all women thing. What you're doing is this. Why is it that you have to use your common sense with these people? Again, they are not coming to us directly. They're going to give us an excuse why they do anything to us. So if your black men are a problem, they're going to make them a problem. They have to. They have to create the problem. One of the problems they have been creating since Jim Crow is that black men are sexually deviant and we don't know how to control ourselves. And that's why they have to do things to us. And that narrative is still here with black men today. Have you noticed that's how they get all up? Now, this is my energy I want to give. I want to give equal opportunity. I want to give equal smoke to where it needs to go. To the black man who has a bit of celebrity and status, leave them white them girls alone. I don't care that one likes you a lot. I don't care if you knew one since you were 7. I don't care. I want you to minimize the problems that you're gonna be presented with later in life. This is one of them. Stay away from as many of them as possible. That is your first read, because for some odd reason, they seem to be the ones that bring you down. Now, they will give black women all kinds of smoke for things that they do, but sisters ain't the ones in large numbers out here saying y'all doing it to them. And for some reason, that's how I know it's baked in. Because even black women who will tell you vehemently how much anger they have for black men right now are not in mass numbers sitting online talking about what black men are doing to them like that. You want to know why? It's because black men are not doing this in mass numbers like no other group is doing it in mass numbers. There are people who do this. I want the projections for us. They can project all day long. I just want us to receive us in a better manner. I can see when they do it to you ladies. I just want you to be able to see it when it's done to us. Classic example. Black women just angry all the time. She has every fucking right to be. What are you talking about? I know what her existence is like. I know the burden that she has to carry. What the fuck are you talking about? She angry. Of course she is. But that ain't even what they talking about with y'all. They're projecting Karen behavior onto y'all when that's what it really is. It's them. When you're in a store, who's the one causing the ruckus because they unhappy? Who's the one in the neighborhood that don't want you at the community pool for no apparent reason? It ain't you. I need for you to have the same energy for me. You know, every time you hear about one of them in mass numbers doing something strange in a hotel in South Africa, it's one of them. Why do we get so much smoke right now? You're right, it is spell work. It is basically projection works all the time. Black folks, you have to stop receiving the projection. For me, it's gonna be at least once, twice, 3 times a week. You're gonna get on here, somebody gonna say, oh God, shut up, guy. You're out here just not being held accountable. You're being a victim. I'm gonna say you victimized. You're right. We're not moving from there just because you think you shaming me. The world doesn't have to be the way that it is. It's just that we don't understand it, and that spell work is working. It's working big time on us. And I just say that for myself as well. Like I said, if he's done something, I promise you, if it comes out, I'm gonna be the first with you to agree with it. One thing I cannot do though, some ironic prerequisite for a man making 100 million to 500 million, he has to be a sexual deviant, because all them seem to be one. And it could be. Think about it like this. I go on the flip end when it comes to it. Could all of them be that way? Yeah. I'm not saying that's not possible, but that just means that they handpicked those people because of that. What better way to control a whole group of people that if they gave money to their own people, they could become a problem? By picking the worst of them. That's why when I see an entertainer that makes it to that status that you don't talk to normal niggas no more, I say, oh no, we can't talk to you no more. I don't even want to deal with you no more. Because you know what that means. If you are locked into the point where you just make a hand over fist money, that means you locked in. And I don't want to be a part of that. I want this. I want black women. I got a lot of women to be in here a lot of times. I want black women a lot of times. I want y'all, when they go into the model world, I want them to start taking the most beautiful of y'all. The most beautifulest of you guys. I want them to stop when they do take a beautiful young lady, make her a model. They said, let's make her less unattractive and then tell you she's attractive. Sisters, y'all the only ones today are shaving y'all heads bald. Y'all the only ones that they want to go grab. Now, a woman with vitiligo, I am not saying she is not gorgeous. I'm not saying she's not attractive. What I'm saying to you is, because I saw one at the Met Gala, a girl, she's a model, the first black transgender woman, quadriplegic, that's with cerebral palsy, that's a model. You know they just playing with us when they do this. They just be playing. Now, this is no knock. I'm glad this girl's been able to make a living for herself. She's living a dream. And I hope she keeps living that dream. But you know what these people be doing, man. Come on now. I just think for us, I don't like I can't stand being in a room and I see them folks talking to my people, especially like an older black person, and I can just see them feeding them BS. And the black person think just because this person has a tie on or this person speaks well that they're being honest with them. I've seen them in a doctor's office. I've seen doctors come in, not touch the patient. This happened to me. Not touch you, don't do nothing. They want to look at your blood work and think they're gonna pull everything. That ain't how the human body works. But you telling people, like my daughter literally the other day, they basically told her she has to keep this 401k. They basically gave her 401k package. Take money out of her paycheck every week for that. Take money out of her paycheck for insurance every week. And don't ask her, now, which one do you think she needs in today's climate more than anything else? Her 401k for down the road, or does she need that income right now? No, what they do is they say, look, we're going to take money. This is literally what they're doing, especially with the health insurance. They have basically told you. They've convinced you. This is all a propaganda play. Hey, now, we all complain. Our regular doctors ain't doing nothing but collecting checks and giving us drugs. I tried to whisper. We all agree that nothing's really happening here. We all agree with this, but for some odd reason, one of the things they still sell us on is good insurance. Can I ask you a question? Wait, let me make a statement. Do you realize that they're basically at this point telling you you're going to feed their industry money out your paycheck? The same way the company passes on 6% of their bill. They're supposed to pay half of your taxes. They don't pay it. They pass their taxes on to you too. You're, in essence, basically up to $184,000. We talked about this last night. Up to $184,000 a year. That salary, up until that, you're going to pay 12.4% interest on that, because that's 6.2 something, I think it is, that you're supposed to pay at. You eat the company because the company passes it on to its employees. And it's legal. At the end of the day, your entire job, it is to feed the system. It is to feed them your children. It's to feed them yourself. It's to feed them your husbands and wives. It is to feed them in every way. You feed them with concepts and ideas. They don't come with anything new. You come with all the new stuff. They monetize it all. And I'm going to tell you this. This is the last thing I'm going to tell you to build, because I'm pouring into you black folks today. And I'm going to tell you why. The last reason why I'm going to tell you, you should never feel you should never feel like you're underneath them, or they're better than you. Remember, they corrugate and bring all entities pretty much down to like, it's only a handful of industries. When, let's just say this, when you have Amazon, remember when COVID hit, Amazon, Walmart, like was only a handful of places open. The places that you saw that were left open were all, I'm going to go ahead and say it, hopefully don't get me in trouble, is your United States government. That's Amazon, that's Walmart, that's Facebook, that's all of them. Everything physical during COVID that was left open, that's your United States government, because they said we don't shut down for nothing, especially nothing like this. Everybody else, you got to go home. What you were fed with excuses. Now, I get it, great excuse, but it still was an excuse. Because today, none of that stuff that they said was going to happen to us happened. But why did they do that? Because it was an excuse. I want us to get in there, wrap our minds around everything that happens. It's supposed to happen because they're making it happen. I think what we are so stuck at, and I try to be the voice of reason for that, is that we're stuck in an area in our lives to where we're infighting on trying to clean up the current mess. But I say this all the time. It's a crisis. They always prevent you. They're going to present you with a crisis. In the 2000, it was the war on terror. Then it was the housing crisis. Then it was Trump. Trump was just Trump. Then we went from immigration. Illegal immigration became a problem. We all fighting about this all day long. Still to this day, a lot of people. Now we don't talk about it no more. You know why? We moved on. We're talking about something different now. Now we got to go to Epstein. It's just a different crisis every time. But now I just went through 20 some odd years of history right then and there. That this is what the whole entire country is focused on. You know what you didn't get in there? You lost your home. They moved jobs overseas, all of them. They made a lick themselves and they made you scramble for the crumbs left. Now everybody's either working for Uber, Lyft, or DoorDash to supplement income because they took all your wealth away. This country is taking its wealth away every day. When you see East Indians here on them H-1B1 visas, no knock at them. But why are you bringing in new people when you have citizens here who ain't working? Well, they care more about it. Then you need to train them. People want to work. Stop believing that there's a group of people who don't want to work. Ain't it ironic that the boy who goes to college and does all the stuff never stops at one point and says, I don't even want to work no more. No, it's when you don't control, I want us to do this. Let me look at this one. Let me calm down because I'm ready to get angry. Look at black people like this. We're inside of a house. There's a mom and there's a dad. There's children, the newborn. Supremacy is the mom and the dad. They're running everything, and they feed all information, food, knowledge, everything to the baby. You. Now, you only know what your parents have taught you. You only do what your parents have taught you. That's how it works majority of the time. You want to know how I know it works in that system? Because if you get out of line just like a parent, they're going to punish you. Do they not? Black folks get out of line, they're going to punish you. So they're your parents, you their child. Y'all don't even know this, but etymology of the word minority is nothing but childlike. When you peel back enough layers. So when you call yourself a minority, you call yourself a child. And that's why they treat you as such. This is wordplay. These people are always playing on you. So now you that baby, that down there, I'm supposed to know that. But they also telling you at the same time, every time that you mess up, that they ain't teach you the right way. But every time you mess up, it's your fault. Something's bad about you. Every time you come out, one to come out looking like you, something bad about you. Baby never says to himself, because the baby ain't gonna ask himself, well, what's bad about me? Because black folks don't do that. We just be absorbing into our subconscious that something's wrong with us, as the system is actively telling you what it's doing to you. Yep. The government will wreck your house. I can tell you how the lady said that the government will wreck your household or tear your household into shreds. And it ain't just utilities. I can tell you how I can do it just as it does it to your couples. So I'm going to talk a little about relationships. I said I'm going to get into it, but I've seen this. I watched a good friend of mine and his old lady. I watched how when they were coming up, both, we come from a small town, both coming up, boom, 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 growing up. Eventually, they worked to the point she ended up getting to a really, really good job. And before that, they were really into the grassroots, things like that, a lot of black stuff, things like that. But her life became so much corporate. I could see the rift as it was happening. Things she went corporate, he still was on the grassroots. And the problem with it is, I think that in the middle of that, and this is not to knock up, I think she lost her identity along the way because it literally just became about whatever corporate said. And if you following them people, if your level of importance is based upon what they into, oh, you've already lost. And I've seen that a bunch of times. So I say all the time, these people are never good for us in our culture at all. That's why they're always trying to get into it. That's why you notice that even, and I'm going to tell you, imagery is everything. I guess I'll tie it back in so I can stop talking about it. Imagery is everything, and I'll tie it into the main conversation. On television, when you're watching TV, the image of everything that you're exploring and what you're seeing, you're going to start to mimic that. So if the reason why you see so many black men with them exotic women is because that's what they put on us for so long, until so many men. And two, I think there's almost like a part of your resume. You got to get one of them. If you're gonna be in the rich black club, you got to give you one of them exotics. And there's no knocking them. That's beautiful women. I'm just saying, it's quite ironic. Look, I'm gonna say it like this now. Money will bring out the worst in people. I get that the whole nine. Mine was just like this. I always tell people, I think it's better if you get your money later and build with your couple. If you're a couple, build and then get the money later. Especially if y'all built it together. Because if you have two healthy, sane people, at that point, both of you are going to recognize and remember what you both implemented in to make that happen. So you kind of stick it out more than that. That's why you see the Denzel still with his wife or the Sam's with his wife, is because they were doing the beginning. I honestly can say this like, poor thing for the people who get money and then think that they doing better now. So now they try to go out here and they lead their people because I can do better than this now. You don't realize it, but these people, all they know is your money. They know what you bring to the table. It's different. If you can find a person, male or female, that will rock with you and the money isn't an issue, that's a person. Whew, you know how hard that is? Anyways, I digress. What are you saying? Example, cashier, dancer. What else you got to have? Men only fight for what they lack. Yeah, I agree with that. Hence, erotic and attraction even from the, what do you say? What's that? Erotic and attraction even for your business. Yeah. I think what men a lot of times, I've experienced, I'm an older fella now, so I've experienced this now. I see what happens a lot of times. And it's just basically what's fed to us. This is why I'm so big on propaganda being a problem. Women don't realize it, but you guys are fed happiness all day long. Be happy, be happy, be happy. Travel, lady, girl. Go do this. Be happy, be happy. And then they reinforce it by saying, look, let's give them a little bit slightly more than their men. These are all plays. If you ever want to know how a pimp can take or a dude take your girl, he's going to present himself in a way that he's going to present himself. Let's slow it down. Ladies, when a man can take when you see one man takes another man's woman that was cool with her man at one point, that man presents himself in a fashion. He does something, and a lot of times he uses it by diminishing the other guy. So what these people do to your men is this. They have created and fostered an environment to your man doesn't look as attractive to you. And then at the same time made themselves popular. Classic example, when I saw Steve Carell was supposed to be the second man alive, I was like, get the fuck out of here. They trying to make dad bods special. They do that because that's what they produce. Y'all don't realize it. Imagery is everything. Why do you think all your images, from Jesus Christ all the way down, everything has to look like them? Why? Because they need that image to be the image of sexiness, of popularity, of greatness. Yours has to be bad, bad, bad. And see, for me, my thing is like this. Anytime them people talk, I say, something wrong there. There must be something good about my people. And I need for you to do it. Once we get there, everything will get fixed. I realize things are getting worse because people are falling victim to believing that nothing is possible anymore in that way. Not unless you do it in a specific manner and you get inundated with foreigners. I watch shows all the time, and I watch, especially the men. And this is no knock to foreign black men, but I'm going to tell you, y'all built different than black American men. And what I mean when I say y'all built different, it is when I hear you talk a lot of times, I hear the little witty man in your head a lot of the times and how you carry yourself, what you think is special. And I get it. It's the way the world was presented to you, how it's supposed to be. I just came from a world where people didn't see it that way. It was given to me different. Tell you a little story about my father. My father was in the army. My father was in Germany. I was born overseas. My father was in the military handing out Black Panther flyers over in Germany in the 70s. So something built a little different. And all of this is, and let me tell you, I'm not built different. I just think independently. I think like everybody else in the world. Everybody else in the world thinks independently. We think as, what are they gonna do to us next? So everybody else wants to leave. And I take that back. I'm lying. That's wrong. That's a lie. Only the supremacy guy does that. Everybody else is trying to get here and be underneath them. And I say it because when I see videos and vlogs and because I like watching vlogs. I'm gonna tell you why I like vlogs. Vlogs are uncut. When I say not uncut, but vlogs are more realistic because basically nobody's pushing an agenda. You go online, you see people go different countries, you get to see the place. Now you're gonna get their interpretation a lot of times of what they say, but still, it gives you a better view than what that polished, edited studio production, because they're gonna paint whatever narrative they want. So when I see people in Africa or India, basically just literally trying to get out versus building something, and this is no knock, I get it, it is so bad. And if we can't think as a collective, I know y'all ain't thinking of a collective. Y'all got 6 billion tribes there. But I'm the guy, I would be standing there in Africa, in the middle of some country, looking at all these people and thinking to myself, why don't we just all, look, tomorrow the men get over here, we're going to build this. Ladies, y'all go over there and go, since y'all don't want to build nothing, y'all cook this right here. What we're going to do, we're just going to start cleaning this up now. Let's clean this up. And whatever we have here, since especially on the continent, we got all the resources. Just say, hey, whatever we can't produce outside this country, we just can't have right now. And then we get back to it. Instead of like and say, this is how it's supposed to work, but they have us so discombobulated because it ain't just people in Africa. This is all over the globe. People don't know how to function on their own. All you have to do, and I always use those zombie apocalypse or some post-apocalypse type shows as an example. People band together. That's all you have to do. Band together, and what you do is you make sure when you do that it's a hierarchy in this thing. If you can keep that away, you should do all right. Band together and don't harm each other, and you share equally. But see, in these countries, what is happening is they full of people at the top that they let these people from other places, you know the folks I'm talking about, tell them what they can and can't do, and they say, and for doing this against all your people, we're gonna make sure you live handsomely. What was that one African leader that was jumping in the back of somebody's truck? He had all his money. He was trying to get out of Dodge. The whole country was like up in flames. The people had enough. This was recently, last 2 years. And they caught him trying to get into the back of a truck with his cash. See, that's the problem. Like South Africa, I said this the other day, South Africa, I don't know on the ground what's happening between you and West Africans. I don't know. So I'm not going to speak to it. But what I will tell you, it don't look good optically. I know I ain't say that right. Kiss my... But it don't look good. It doesn't look good that y'all mad at them and they the handful and y'all got y'all 80% of the country. Y'all let them other folks just do whatever they want to y'all. I get it. It's been like this for so long. I'm trying to say if I should say stuff or would that get me in trouble? I'll leave it. I'll leave it. It's a very simple way to get out of it. It's just that what it is that we're fearful in every way. We fear what's going to happen next. And I'm with you. Like I say, I don't want nobody walking through my neighborhood with no guns, this, that, and third. I don't. I can promise you that. I don't want nobody from nobody else's soil getting over here, coming over here, telling us what to do, controlling us. I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to see none of the whole night. So people are like, man, so we have to defend ourselves. Stay out of people's countries. How about that? I'm going to tell you. If you don't like immigration, like you said, one side would be like, we cool with immigration. The other side would be like, we don't like it. If you don't like it, stay out of people's countries. Let them people be able to live without having to live underneath you. Because all it is, you there. If you leave, they'll get better. I can only imagine. They tell us, this is one thing I always tell people too, stop believing everything you're told. So I say this, y'all know not Easter Island. God, what is the name of the one? Those people that were untouched that they keep trying to go to. North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island could literally be a highly advanced utopia. Now, we're told they're primitive and they this, that, and the third. And I know they try to show you videos with this and the third. But these people lie so much, I'm telling you, I don't know if it's true or not. And the reason why I say this is because of this. They told us that America was this undeveloped place that people were primitive and living in teepees. But yet and still, we got stone building after stone castles and this, that, and the third. Y'all seen it now. We can get into it. Let me know if you want to. I've been wanting to talk to y'all about it. But I don't want to talk unless y'all want to know about it. No, the world had underground tunnels and all this stuff was going on in America. All this is happening. Nobody's in teepees. But they told you that you was living like this. So if North Sentinel Island is a place that y'all can't conquer, and y'all tried to go over here multiple times, but for some reason y'all keep falling short. Does that sound like a bunch of people who are primitive? Because I know what these people do to primitive people. They just walk over primitive people. Go ask the Australians, the Tasmanians, what they do to primitive looking people. And I still don't think the Tasmanians are primitive because they have the same architecture, same buildings, the same everything else. So what I'm saying is that, what am I saying? Oh, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that I don't believe that North Sentinel Island is this primitive place to need people to know. This place could literally be highly advanced the whole night. I don't know. I just know with this, I never will get to go. I'll never know. Only thing I can go off is only information I have about that whole subject comes from known liars. And just like a court of law, I look at the world the same way. Once you lie about one thing, you'll lie about anything else. But these people get absolved. They can lie to me today and then not lie tomorrow. Oh no, he lied about this. He lied about that virus. He lied about this. He lied about that. But this time, no, this is true right here. How you know this is true? That's why I got a lot of feedback, negative feedback, because I said the other day, y'all need to stop shaming Killer Mike because he told you he's not gonna vote for you just because you black no more. And my thing is like, no, you should get the person who's gonna get something tangibly done for you. And I was like, people like, cause they should have voted her in. That woman refused to say anything to you. You asked for, this is one time you cannot say, cause they've been, and it's actually been like this since 2020. For sure. 2020, 2024, used 2 cycles of time, black folks specifically, that didn't show up, told you what they were voting for. You chose not to address any of it. And since you chose not to address any of it, you should have expected that outcome. And my thing is just like this. If it's real, then you don't have to keep talking around it. You'll just go ahead and do it. That's just me. But it ain't just to her. It's to anybody who gets in that position. It was Biden before her. He didn't speak to none of your issues either. Obama before him didn't speak none of your issues. Al Gore didn't speak none of your issues. Kerry, what's his name? John Kerry didn't speak to none of your issues. I'm just speaking to all the people I know who ran, who had the ticket. None of them spoke to your issues, but they told you that you needed to come this way because this was your team. How's somebody gonna tell me I'm on the team, but I don't get no benefits from being on the team? Anyways, I digress. I've been here with y'all too long today. Listen, I appreciate you guys for showing up and chit chatting with me right here and everything. Hit the like button on my way. I need those too because they still be hitting me. Definitely hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're in here. Please hit the follow. Please hit the follow button today. And the reason why I say that today is because I am one warning away from probably having no channel. So I'm trying. That's why I'm watching my words and I'm stumbling so much because I'm trying not to curse right now. I'm trying not to curse. Trying not to say anything violent too much. But it seems like nothing but violence is happening in our community right now. So I appreciate the people who show up. So any follow that you give me always goes a long way. I appreciate it because you follow it, I'll be able to send you live and let you know when I go live. Because other than that, they're not gonna show you my content that often. But anyways, I digress. I'm a YouTuber and struggle streamer. I've grown to accept it. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways, people, I appreciate you for showing up. We'll be back on Monday, hopefully. Everything's willing. And I got whole new topics for you and everything like that. And I hope you guys, like I said, if y'all need anything from me along the way, definitely drop me a DM, drop me something in the inbox. I appreciate all of the gifts that you sent out and everything too. I appreciate those, guys. Those are needed. And I'll catch you on the next one, okay? All right, peace. That's it.